Well, you see all this fancy stuff in the background. Look at that, look at all that.
I don't know which way to look.
I'm saying, man.
I'll probably look at this one.
We got one over here and we got one over there.
This is It's That Type of News. I'm Dutch Corbin.
And I am Bruce Robinson. And joined with us today is...
Robyn Swan.
The Robyn Swan. Right? I mean, aren't you going to add that during your campaign?
The Robyn Swan?
The Robyn Swan?
Yeah.
Well, I usually go by Black Swan. So.
Oh.
Well, it's always good to see that you guys can laugh. Man. Sometimes we don't know if you can.
Yeah, Black Swan.
Yeah.
So you normally walk around in a tutu or something?
No,
or like,
no.
Are you dealing with like physical blocks from your mother being abusive?
No.
You know, is Mila Kunis trying to get a little frisky with you? Like, what's going on?
You have to let him finish all three questions.
Before I start answering.
Yeah. We was worried.
During about the last 2 elections ago, I started a series of letters to the editor that at the time I wanted it to be received and not, my name out there, because I think I was 20, maybe 21, 22 at the time. So I said to myself, I need a really catchy pen name. So that's where Black Swan came from. So I was very fortunate. All 7 got published in the Gazette under the name of Black Swan, so it kind of always stuck with me.
It's always
well, there you go. She's black and she's a swan. There you go. Boom.
I know that a lot of folks you're relatively new to the scene as far as some MPs go. I mean, you've been around.
Well, yes, I have. I've been around in the background for close to 10 years. I was assisting Jeff Sousa with the last 4 years of the Kite Festival that they have in Horseshoe Bay. So I was very instrumental in promoting local artists. I still try my best to assist local artists. I consider myself a local artist as well because I've DJ'd quite a bit. So yeah, I try.
You're so cultured. That's lovely.
I try.
It's because you're not cultured.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're not.
But I can recognize cultured people.
Well, I try.
I think that's the job of uncultured people to recognize culture.
Yeah. But which constituency are you running in?
I'm running in 26, that's Warwick South Central.
And who is your opponent?
Neville Tyrrell.
And how do you feel about that?
Mr. Tyrrell was very kind to me during the by-election.
Oh wow, that's a good switch up. All right.
No, he was a perfect gentleman.
Good. I like to hear that from the opposition.
The gentlemen that were assisting Mr. Tyrrell were very kind. They made sure I was taken care of, that I was fine, and no one was abrupt to me. And he's from that generation that are very respectful and reverent.
Which generation is that?
The builders, I believe. That's the correct term.
Builders? Is that before or after the baby boomers?
I believe just slightly before.
Okay, all right. We cool.
I have always only heard good things about Mr. Tyrrell.
Yes.
So I was hoping to hear that from you as well.
He was a gentleman.
At the end of the day, it's one government, right?
Yes.
So it's always good to hear that.
It is good to hear that.
It's a lot of very polite MPs. I haven't heard too much like really nasty things about either side as far as running. You have this, drops in your bucket, but
exactly.
Drops in your bucket. Just a bit more than that. You got your bad apples and everything.
Overall, I consider myself very fortunate. People have been kind to me, and I'm very appreciative. Because it could be pretty rough, as you can see in the blogs. It seems like it's a full-scale war, but
you should see the memes they made about us.
Yeah,
you saw about 52 crowds.
They have memes.
They have memes about us.
No.
That's how you know you made it, when someone's got memes about you. When you pissed off somebody to the point where they actually take the time to make a meme, you made it.
Anyway, so what exactly are your main goals when getting into the House? If I'm not going to say when.
Well, I would like to see the efforts that the One Bermuda Alliance has started with marijuana reform I would like to see it completed. I would be satisfied with decriminalization. I think the end goal will be legalization. I think that's just the logical end game.
I think you're going to make a whole lot of money off legalization.
I'm going to still push for decriminalization.
So is that kind of like the issue that you're championing?
Well, I've been championing it since 2013. It all started when I was the Under 40 Caucus Chair for the One Bermuda Alliance. I had an open mic on marijuana reform. Then I was appointed to the Cannabis Reform Collaborative by Michael Dunkley. And we've just been continuing those efforts. You know, I have a relationship with Mr. Manis. I've been trying to speak with him on how we can get the amount to rise, what can we do next. And he's, believe it or not, he's very receptive. So we're just continuing the efforts. I know some people want to say, let's just legalize it, and that's going to be the end of everything. But we have to ask ourselves, what is the impact going to be on our society? So I like how the One Bermuda Alliance is making small movements forward, letting the dust settle, then doing the next appropriate move. Because, for example, Portugal, they legalized drugs, well, substances, right?
All substances or some substances?
I believe all illegal substances.
Oh.
I think cocaine, heroin, yeah.
They legalized cocaine, and, well, technically, you know, Oxycontin is pretty much just heroin anyway.
It's gonna be booking a ticket there pretty soon.
No.
But they didn't just say legal, let the floodgates open. What they did was the government made programs for so young people could be educated to substances and what substance abuse is. They also have programs to assist people that want to come off of substance abuse. So these are things that Bermuda needs to look into before they make such a decision. So I push for drug reform, but comprehensive drug reform. We have to be very responsible. The reason I believe in this is because I served 8 years as a prison officer, and I saw that in some instances we have murderers doing less time than people importing drugs or getting caught with drugs.
That's one thing I never understood. Like, you put a man in the ground, but then you sort of bit of weed and you get more. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, those aren't equal.
It makes sense if at that time that governments, not just Bermuda, but we're looking at the United States and other places in the world, they had racism, and these were laws put in place to affect black males in particular. Like, let's be honest.
True. Well, the war on drugs was
because
designed to supplant the black population.
Right. My generation came up in the 80s, so we all had the just say no in the United States, right?
She said the 80s.
I did. So I'm an 80s
So
baby.
do you remember, like, you know, the original Star Wars?
Yes, I do. No, that was the 70s.
I was about
think
to
Star
say,
Wars
you-
was 72, 73, right?
No, Star Wars was 1978.
Oh, no. What was it?
1978 to 1983.
Okay.
Two, three.
Look, I'm not arguing with you because I already know, right?
Yeah.
Y'all true blue blurred, right? So I already know. I'm not arguing.
It's socially acceptable to be in
We
there
just
these
be
days.
trying to talk about politics.
Yeah.
And in comes Star Wars.
Listen, there's always time for Star Wars.
This is why the petitions can be for new.
I think David Byrd and Michael Dunkley should just have a lightsaber fight over who rules the country.
Oh my God.
Use the Force.
I don't know. David Brad looks like it's in good shape.
Okay,
so.
let's bring the conversation back, gentlemen. Right?
It's him.
Before that movement, drugs in the 70s. Forgive me, I can't remember the date specifically, but I believe in the 70s they made it from legal to illegal. They made that movement, right? And if you look at what was happening in the world before, for example, Coca-Cola. Why is Coca-Cola named Coca-Cola? Because it had cocaine in it. These are substances that have been with humanity since the beginning.
Wasn't Bayer originally selling heroin to people and like kids back in the day? It was like a national prescription.
I mean, we've had everything from nuclear waste used as medical products. If you look at the history of substances.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did. It was, you get your tooth pulled and they would give you a pill of radium or something like that. Maybe not radium, but something radioactive.
Give you teeth.
And this was normal. It was totally normal. So then the laws changed. You look at America, what was it going through at that time? It was going through the not Civil War, Civil Rights movement. And there's a documentary on Netflix called The 13th. Watch it. It's excellent. It will show you how laws changed around the times that particularly people of melanated descent are going through social movements. All of a sudden you see the laws change because the prison demand. I mean, we could talk about that for another whole hour, so I'm just going to summarize that these are unlawful laws that were done wrongly, And if you call yourself a just government, these are the things that you take on to change, to make society better. So, to summarize everything, I'm not for a free-for-all. I actually don't consume marijuana, so just let's have comprehensive reform. Let's help get people that want the assistance to get clean, so we can have a healthy, productive society.
To dig more into the whole marijuana thing, right? Mm-hmm. What exactly do you think would be the next step when it's legalized as far as industry, job opportunities? Like, how would the government kind of facilitate this new boom in industry? Because I don't know if it will boom, but it will be an industry where someone who now can get a permit, to grow.
I think even the most conservative of persons would agree that medicinal is acceptable. I even think that would be I dare to say that's socially acceptable right now. So
I thought medicinal was allowed in small amounts.
Yes, you have to get a permit.
Right.
And once you get the permit, then you are allowed to. You can do that right now. They've passed that. So and then it's the 3 grams that they're allowing. Trying to work to get it to 7. The house was cold.
Yeah, but I remember back in the day.
Yeah, I had to ask people 7. I'm like, how much is 7? Is 3 a lot? Like, what is that?
How much does this weigh? Like, I don't know. Like, I like that.
They're looking at me like, you're fighting this and you don't even know. I'm like, no, I don't.
Well, you can fight for something without doing it. Like,
exactly.
we get married, but we're not gay.
It's the right thing to do.
I was just because I remember back when Mr. Mark Bean said he gave his daughter weed tea, right? And everybody was like,
arms,
and it was kind of taboo to talk about openly using weed as medicinal. But then I think you have a young doctor now. What's his name? I want to say Dr. Brown.
Kaiwan Brown.
Yeah. He is currently, I heard through the grapevine, champion using medicinal weed in his practice.
He's a naturopath. I go to him. I lost a lot of weight and my health has dramatically improved because of going to Dr. Brown. So if someone like him is saying this is something that could help people, trust and believe, it must, because he's not going to put his reputation out like that. He has a very high standard of operation, and he's someone that has affected my life in a positive way, so I would support if he was advocating for that.
Dr. Brown's down here then?
Yeah, I think, but he's a relatively young doctor.
Yes, he is, and he's excellent. I would tell anyone, if you've got a health concern, you're not satisfied with your GP, go see him.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but glowing things about
I think I might give him a call.
Yes, you should.
Oh.
Wait a minute, for what?
Those of you that don't know, 5 years ago the right side of my face was completely paralyzed. It's still taking a while to come back. So, but modern medicine doesn't necessarily do what I need it to do.
He might be able to.
I'll talk to him.
With a natural solution to that.
And it might actually calm down a little bit.
That's
make this show a lot easier.
We can only pray.
I'm pretty sure that was a pre-existing condition.
You put a little puff pass and you see a lot different.
Listen.
Anyway, before we get distracted, listen, Ms. Robyn Swan.
No. Okay, I support it, but I'm not smoking it, okay?
But I wanted to kind of dig into, not so much your background, but why exactly would your constituents really rally behind you? I know you're championing this big issue in our country, which is, marijuana.
Yes.
But what exactly sets you apart from Mr. Tyrrell as far as,
his policies?
Yeah, his policies and, your background and what you've done.
Forgive me, that's going to be a little difficult because I'm not entirely familiar with what Mr. Tyrrell has done for the area. So I can't assume that he has or hasn't done anything. All I can say is what constituencies have spoken on the past has been, a lot of them feel that people assume it's a stronghold, so they're not really doing anything to help 26, which is kind of disheartening. 26, the first time I went and started canvassing was right after the last hurricane, and I went the day the hurricane had ended, and I was amazed at how everyone was out helping each other. I mean, that happens in a lot of areas, right? But this was like the entire of 26 was pretty much cleaning up. So by the time I had gotten on my bike there, most of it was done already because the neighbors had just pitched in and done what they had to do. And to me, that spoke volumes of the area. It's like these people really care. They really do care about each other. They must be very tight-knit. And this Saturday, I was canvassing, and I went to a house, and all the children from the neighborhood were in this one person's house. And it was amazing, you know, black kids, white kids, children don't care, right? So they were there, and the lady was on the couch completely exhausted and was like, oh, go look inside. And it was like 8 kids jumping all over the bed. It was so hilarious. They were having a ball. I said, good afternoon. And they were like, good afternoon. And then they're bouncing all over the place. And I just had to smile because it was the sweetest thing I had seen. So I would really like to help them in any capacity that I can. I know that there are a lot of road damages. I know that they might have a little issue with bikes and the like. So I would like to utilize any knowledge that I have, any access that I have, because currently we're the government, to assist them in all their needs. 26, everyone's saying it's a stronghold, it's a stronghold. The reality is that you can't take advantage of people if you're not being active in your area, if you're not canvassing on a regular, if you're not doing these things. People will feel that they're being taken advantage of. And every area in Bermuda realistically is up for grabs, because I believe that Bermudians are still wholesome people, and they will know if someone's just using them or if someone is genuinely interested in assisting them. And I think that's where I'm gonna get over it in the end. It's because I believe I'm a genuine person, and I'm very much concerned about not just 26 but all of Bermuda. So I think my work will speak for itself at the end of the day, and regardless of the outcome, I'm gonna help people. So this to me is just a step in my development and what I'm gonna do to assist Bermuda in getting things back on track and moving forward.
Just say you said 14 was a stronghold too.
Oh yes.
I never actually liked or subscribed to the idea of strongholds, because it whether it's back in the day, whether it was a UBP stronghold or a PLP stronghold or now OBA stronghold, I never liked the idea of that, because the term stronghold almost like seems like we are all for people thinking for themselves.
Correct.
And the idea of a stronghold means that no matter what, we're going to vote this person in because we've always voted that person in. And I've never supported that. I've always been the type of person who, like, who do I think is best for me? If I think you're best for me from this party for this year, the next election I think some from the other party is better, I'm going to vote for the person in the other party, because it's like, you know, just because I voted for you last time don't mean I'm going to vote for you this time.
If you're not doing the work, why should I support you?
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest issues we have in Bermuda is voters' pressure. So I'm happy to see that the idea of strongholds is slowly but surely going away.
It's fading away.
Because it's like, especially like people my age, I remember when I was, I'm going to say when I was younger. Well, it's all good. When I was a little bit younger, I remember you and Brian and Michael Duncan came to my school, and everybody flocked to you at Braun. Mm-hmm. No one even was caring about what Mr. Duncan was saying, because nobody cared at all. Nobody was even listening to him. But because everybody's parents was PLP, and because Braun was black, and because this and this, and they were just flocking to him. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, why?
Exactly. It's like...
Well, what are his policies? Do you agree with his policies? Do you understand why? Or is it just because everybody else is saying do this, you're going to do this?
Well, the kids wouldn't know policy.
I'm talking about like the 18-year-olds that were going to be voting and everything.
No.
But I think as we age and as we have more life experiences, our view expands, right?
True.
So once those kids go into the workforce or they go off to university, their mindsets are going to change because they're having more experiences. I mean, not to negate what teenagers go through, because you go through a lot when you're an adolescent.
Yes.
But
well,
Yeah, I mean, it's
It was a lot easier back then than it is now.
Yeah, my time, we were very fortunate. You used to be able to go out and party all night, meet people. We just have a lot of elements right now that are concerning. And I feel for my daughter, I feel for my nieces, I feel for my nephews, because they're not coming up in the Bermuda I came up with. And that's the Bermuda I'm fighting for. Or let's be realistic, that's the Bermuda of the past. Let's build something better than what we had. We
That's
can
good
still
to hear.
do that. We can still do that, but we have to have the will to do it. And people, I don't think that people don't care, and I don't think that people have given up. A lot of people want to help, but they just don't know how. That's what I'm hearing. People want to help. They want to give you the energy, they want to give you the finances, they want to, but
They just don't have
they
the
just
knowledge to do
don't.
so.
Yeah, they just don't know how to connect the dots yet, and that's why people
what you
like
do.
yourselves and myself and people like yourself come in, because you might have the vision. And then you have people that are the hands, so they're the workers. So this is how it works. It's not that one's better than the other, right? It works together for a purpose.
No, not everybody likes our business, but
Yeah.
well, what can I say?
He would make sure everyone knows that people don't like us. That's the first thing he says. Hi, we're ITTP. People don't like us. That's what
People don't
That's
dislike
what he
you.
said. I'm cool.
No, they might not agree with your ideology.
It's him. He thinks
Don't
that
take
we.
it personally.
Oh no, you don't get nothing. You don't get nothing. Everybody, no one says anything about Dutch parent. It's always like, yeah, that's Canada's bond. Talking for his daddy again. Lord, I see how it is. That's Canada's bond.
No. They really don't understand.
They really don't. Anybody that knows.
He calls me and tells me some of the stuff that he's gonna put on, and I cry. I call his. I tell on him.
This girl gonna go
I
right there.
tell on him.
Hey, don't talk about this. And I'm like, what's he gonna do? Ground me? Like,
I call his dad and tell him.
You got to. It's
why?
crazy.
I'm 25
And
years
he
old.
does it anyways.
Well, it comes, it's all about, public perception, and what we have in this country right now
I am
is
so sorry.
it's okay. You're an MP, you're busy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I feel what's good enough, I'd be a little worried. To be
Right, the
honest.
constituents call you, think, "Hey, girl, you did good." Hey, my house needs painted. You can't come help me.
You know what I would do? Because I'm like that.
But
I would
we-
literally come with a bucket of paint and roll it.
That's right. If you need house paint to call Rob, we'll come help.
Call me.
But we definitely have a huge propaganda machine, and it's almost very scary being so we're in such a small country
Yeah.
that we have such a powerful propaganda
Which
machine.
is why I applaud what you're doing, because you're coming with a different and fresh perspective. And it's not about PLP being right and OBA being right. It's about freedom to express yourself in a healthy manner.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Which is what needs to happen. It's okay that we disagree. It's okay. I don't have to agree with you. And people need to remember that.
Exactly.
I have friends that are staunch people. I have family that are PLP members. But they respect that this is my view and this is the path I've taken. As long as I'm putting Bermuda first, that's what matters.
That's one of the biggest problems I have on the island. If you disagree with the vast majority of people and you actually have a good reason for disagreeing with it, you're either a sellout or you're a puppet.
But it's not everybody.
Not everybody.
Doesn't
Not
think
everybody.
that way. Not everybody thinks that.
Too many people do though.
It's not as many as you
someone
think.
told
It's not.
me-
It's not as bad as I thought it was. I'm not.
No, it's not.
It's not as many people.
Empty barrels make the most noise.
Thank you.
So sometimes it's not that it's so correct. Sometimes it's just loud. But I love my Bermudian people because we get tired of loudness after a while. We get very tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
We get turned off by it, actually. So that's why work's so important. Like, where are you going to stand at the end of the day? Did you make a lot of noise, but what difference did you make? I think that's what's going to stand out, especially in this election. What was done? What was accomplished?
Well, in this election, you have a lot of young people right now who are looking to decide who to vote.
Yeah.
And they're looking to make a decision based off of merit. And there's a lot of people that have probably hit us up individually who are asking, like, who should I vote for? Because we've made ourselves kind of like this.
The commentators of
Yes.
the political arena.
And I tell them the same thing every time. The best thing you can do is first look at both look at both MPs and try to see if you can dig up as much as you can on what they've done and what they stand for. You know what I mean? And this is why you should vote. I will never tell somebody to vote one party.
Exactly.
But I feel like
Make your own decision.
I'm going to tell you, there are MPs that I see in the PLP that I want in the House, and there are MPs that I see from the OBA that I want in the House.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I really hope sincerely that with this party line being breaking, where you see strongholds and all that stuff, kind of only being strongholds to people who are like 50 and up, and you have a lot of young people at home that are like being swayed which way.
Remember, the 50 and up crowd is, it's going to sound a little grim, but it's getting less and less.
Yeah.
So, but that is one thing, that is a big thing for and young voters. And when I mean young voters, I really mean everybody under 40. Because those lot that are like 30 years old, 10 years ago, that was the first time they voted. So a lot of us still just feel disenfranchised. Like, I don't know who to vote for because, frankly, I don't know anybody doing anything for me. I have one of my good friends. She's told me that she doesn't want to vote for anybody because she doesn't feel anybody's doing anything for her. So
how do you think that you can harness the young voters in your constituency?
Being
And how do
young
you
yourself.
think- yeah, and how do you
Bingo.
think that your entire party can stand to, put your record in a manner of which young folks can read it and absorb it? Because that's what I find the biggest issue is that your record is there. You see all the green numbers, you see tourism rising, but the young people are not going to necessarily absorb that as easily. They want to see tangible things. That's what our
Yes.
generation is all about. They want to touch and feel
Yes.
change.
Yes.
So
And
how
if
do
you
you
don't,
think
then-
you can get that across to younger voters?
Well, I try and tell people. Well, we have a tradition of firesides and open mics that have been in strong attendance and we've done since OBA has started, and we try and get. Like I said, I was once a chair for the Under 40 Caucus, right? That's now the Future Group. It was formerly Future Bermuda Alliance, and
I remember that.
So we create these vehicles for young people to come in with their ideas and ideals, and we simply support them. And I think it's important that people know specifically what they want. Like, I try and tell people, well, we need help. Like, just this morning I had a conversation with a young man in the UK. He was like, well, what are you doing for me? I said, well, what do you need? I think people forget that, and we're often in situations that we're stressed, so we're not thinking, clearly. But it's very important to know what you want and how to get there. Because I can't help you because I don't know how you feel. I don't know what you want. So if you come to me, let me know what you want, how you want it, and then I can assist you. That's also a lesson I had to learn myself when it came to the party, when it came to life in general. You need to know, you have to have a vision of what you want in life. You need to know how to get there, and then you approach the persons for assistance. One thing I can say for the One Bermuda Alliance is they've never told me no. When I've had a vision, when I've had a plan, they've always opened the door and allowed me to express myself. That's why I'm here now. This is the next progressive step for me. Now that I'm on the proverbial game floor, I'm still benched, but
you're
I'm
up to
learning.
bat.
Yes, I'm going to be up to bat next.
Yeah.
Hey, bench warmers can only warm the bench for so long.
For so long. So it's if you have issue or concern, reach out. Be able to articulate what you need the assistance with. Be able to say, have some form of a plan, or even if you don't know, say, hey, I don't know how to get here. Can you assist me with getting there? One thing I can say is I know that the members of OBA will assist you. They've assisted me repeatedly. So
that's always good to hear. So that's the thing. To us young people, if you want to know what the government's doing for you, you need to learn to be specific. Like, what do we want?
yes.
Because a lot of times I think we don't really know what we want.
Well,
We
a lot
just
of
know
times
nothing
people are just
about it.
frustrated.
I think
So you don't
everyone's
know how
frustrated.
to, and I've been there myself, where it's like, this needs to be fixed, and this needs to be fixed, and they're like, okay, well, how? And I'm like, oh yeah, how? Okay, well, why don't we do this, that, and the other? Okay, that looks good. Let's do it.
That's actually one of the biggest problems we have with governments in general. We hear a lot of this needs to be done, this needs to be done, but it's like, how are you going to do it, and how are you going to do it without increasing the deficit?
Everything has to be balanced. The equation must always be balanced, if not, you're going to fall short. For example, if we look at the free education, that was a brilliant idea, but the reality is, where's the money going to come from? So other things had to be cut and fell short, and this all added to our now debt. So when you make a policy idea, you have to consider, what's the budget going to be? How's it going to have? What's the long-term effect going to be? I had gone to Miss Atherton with some ideas, and Miss Atherton, she's a very astute lady, and she tapered them for me, because although I thought my ideas were wonderful and good, and you have to look at the long-term impact of where's the money going to come from. So I think that OBA does a very excellent job of balancing that equation, making sure that if we're taking, we're putting back, and vice versa, to make sure that we can still move forward. And I think Minister Richards is probably the best finance minister we've had. I mean, going way back. That's why they called him Bob the Builder, because he's going to get us.
That's why they call him Bob the Builder.
Yes.
Why do they call Grant Gibbons Woodstock?
They called him that?
The Premier said it on the last show, and nobody give me an answer yet. Well, I want to know, why you call him Woodstock?
Why? I don't know. That's the first time
It's good that you don't. It's good that you don't know, because I feel like we'll get a lawsuit here for Granny. But
if Dunkley ain't giving us a lawsuit, she surely ain't.
I wanted to basically, as young folks, it's a young man in particular that has springboarded himself into the public eye. He has been well known as a PLP contributor.
Is that the word we want to use?
Yeah, but he has issued an open debate, and I think you know who I'm talking about. Mr. Aaron Hill, yes. He has issued a debate, and it's been circulating social media, and it's getting a whole lot of buzz, a whole lot of nays and yays. How did that transition into the OBA camp? Like, how was that received?
To be honest with you, I saw it on social media. I think it's only been a 24-hour span. This has been, it's probably less than 24 hours.
Late.
I think, that things should be done in decency and order, and that the chair responded. I think she responded appropriately, and I guess we will all have to wait and see what the outcome of that's going to be. I am very, very debates, because I remember a time that I loved politics, and I used to look forward to debates because they were very informative. But unfortunately, we're living in an era that people would rather attack persons instead of policies. I think we saw that with the Trump election. And as someone that has loved politics for pretty much my entire life, it was very hurtful to watch that election, and how it just turned into this ugly monster, and now we are stuck in a Trump era. And it's very unfortunate. So I'm hoping that we evolve out of this. I'm all for having possibly a panel discussion on issues, that at the end of that discussion something gets implemented. I'm all for that. Like, let's be progressive. Let's stop the personal attacks and the name calling, and let's stop all of that, because it's not getting us anywhere. It's hurting us, especially in a small place like Bermuda. So we can do better. Let's try and do better. And I'm talking as somebody that was in the middle of all of that sort of back and forth, guilty. But I realized how much time I was wasting. That type of time and energy could have been helping. So I have stopped, and I try my best not to get caught up, because I'm known to be very direct. It's something I've tapered, but I still think it's a strength. So I'm still direct, but I try not to get caught in the foolishness of some of the back and forth that goes on. So.
Too much dancing on the sidelines these days.
For sure. So to wrap it up, is there anything that you like to say?
Here a while, Lord mercy.
Yeah, but is there anything you like to say to your constituents about yourself, or a personal message to them?
Yeah. I really don't care if you're a PLP or OBA. I'm here because I want to help, and I want things to be better for everybody. So you feel free to contact me if you would like to just discuss who's Robyn Swan and why does she want to run. If you have any issues, my cell number is 504-7926. That's 504-SWAN. And feel free to call me, talk to me. Let's see what we can do to fix 26 together.
You got your name as your phone number. I never would have thought to do that. I'm gonna go change my phone number right now. How you spell Bruce?
She put her phone number right onto the okay, well, prepare for your phone to bring it all night.
Yeah, I was ringing during.
Well, you know. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. A special thank you to our sponsor choices. Go and get some bomb-ass outfits from them. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Who hit the camera?
There's two now. I have
Hit
to
both.
hit two.
Yeah. And then
We moving up in the world.
Do it with your Jedi mind.